Can the Minnesota Vikings go undefeated against the AFC East? Let's discuss now on the fast moving Minnesota Vikings talk show, Viking Hot Takes. We've got 6 questions, 20 minutes, and the fans with the answers in the comments. Eric, let's do it, man.
All right, week 13, we're getting down the home stretch. Let's go.
What's your take? What's your take? Let's go a Viking on Viking Hot Takes.
Week 13 of the 2022 NFL season, the 9-2 Minnesota Vikings host the 7-4 New York Jets at US Bank Stadium. New York fighting for playoff position in the AFC, currently the 2 seed while the Vikings are the 2 seed.
Yeah,
Jets are the 7 seed. They got some
right.
ways to go. But that's an early playoff picture look. There's a lot of football left. And so this game comes at a pivotal point before the final stretch. Eric, are you ready for some hot takes?
Absolutely. I'm glad the Vikings got all of their regression out of the way against the Cowboys. We're back to winning heart attack games. It doesn't matter, but it's going down to the wire. Let's just like fast forward to the fourth quarter, the last 6 or 7 plays, because that seems what it comes down to. It's a great position to be in though at 9-2.
Yeah, like I said last week, holiday football. So all of these games are happening on the holidays. You're stressed out, biting your nails in front of your family members. What could
Yeah.
be better? But let's get the show started. All right. Eric, first question. Are the Vikings in the same tier, the same class as the San Francisco 49ers?
That is a very good question. Obviously, the Vikings still have the lead on them in the standings. The 49ers are coming out guns blazing though this past month, and they're a tough team. They're going to be a tough out, I think, in the NFC playoffs. It looked like the
Mhm.
Seahawks were flirting with the NFC West title. I think it's the 49ers to lose. I'd be very surprised if they didn't have that second, third, or fourth seed going into the NFC playoffs. That said, as much as the analytics and all of the point differentials and everything else will have you believe, the Vikings are still a good team, and I think they're still in the same tier. I think the 49ers undoubtedly have a better defense. I don't think that's really debatable. They have the pass rush. They have a a much better overall secondary. They have a couple really good linebackers. But I'd still give the Vikings the overall edge in the offense because like the 49ers have a lot of weapons. They get the ball into the hands of their playmakers very often, and they're good at that. That said, I
Mhm.
still think that they kind of plan for Jimmy Garoppolo just to kind of to drive the bus and make sure nothing screws up. Like that, I think the Vikings
Yeah.
unlock more with Kirk Cousins and their weapons compared to the San Francisco 49ers. But I mean, like if you said, if I'll be honest, if they played on a neutral field right now, I think the 49ers would probably be favored by about 3 points. Like I think
Okay.
Vegas thinks the 49ers are better, but that doesn't to me doesn't say that the 49ers are in a different tier. The Eagles have proven, they when the Vikings faced them early in the season, they were at a different tier. They still might be They've shown some hiccups here and there, but overall they're still, I think, the team to beat in the NFC. The 49ers are definitely in the conversation, but the Vikings are too. It's the old Bill Parcells thing. You are what your record says you are. The Vikings are 9 and
Yeah.
2. However they get there, they are closing out games. They are believing in, it's kind of the sum of the parts or the whole is greater than the sum of the parts kind of thing with this Vikings team. And again, it could all come crashing down at the worst possible time in the playoffs. That's never. We know this. We're Vikings fans. We understand
Yes.
it can go bad at any single time. But the way that they're playing right now and the way that they're closing out games, you have to put them in the same tier. And again, like the 49ers are a really good team, but I also think the Vikings are. Do you put them on the same, or
So,
do you have the 49ers ahead?
well, I think here's the key question is if we do see the Vikings and the 49ers on the same field at some point, are we going to get the heart attack Vikings or the blowout Vikings? Which
Right.
one of those, and I think it's relevant to ask right now because 49ers have won four in a row. They are the biggest threat to take the two seed from us. And also, just in general, good teams rise to the top at the end of the season. So we could easily see ourselves in a playoff matchup with them. But they also, some of the things that are going on with 49ers are very similar to the New York Jets team that will play this weekend. So maybe this is like a quasi playoff preview. That's the angle I'm going for here.
Yeah, I think you're right there because it's the Jets are on the defensive side of the ball. They are legit this year. They have, and again,
Mhm.
it seems that the ongoing thing with the Vikings, if you can absolutely short circuit this team if you get constant pressure. I mean, that's pretty much true for any team, but the Vikings completely are they're done for if
Mhm.
you can consistently get pressure and short circuit the offense. If you can't get Jefferson open, if you can't scheme him open, I thought the Vikings did an excellent job in Thanksgiving preparing for that New England defense. Again, New England was right up there with the 49ers and with the Jets statistically,
Yeah.
and maybe above them in a lot of categories too. And they still hung, they 26 points offensively and with the extra touchdown. They moved the ball just as well as the Patriots did on the Vikings, which is a little scary on that side of the ball. I'm sure we'll touch on that later today. But yeah,
Mhm.
the I think it's basically as long as the Vikings aren't just completely short circuited by the pass rush, they can put up points against just about everyone, and that's including the 49ers, who that's a tall task to do because a lot of teams are struggling to do so right now.
Eric is not scared of the 49ers. Let's go to the
I'm a
next
little scared.
question.
I'm a little scared, but I think they're still in the same tier.
All
All right,
right.
my first
All right.
question for you. This one is great. This is the matchup of the week, maybe of the season. How will the Justin Jefferson versus Sauce Gardner battle play out on Sunday?
Matchup of the season. The hype is real around this
This
matchup. Justin
It's a
Jefferson.
heavyweight bout. This is like Holyfield Tyson back in the day. This is huge.
Is this Justin's first heavyweight bout? I think that's my question. I think this might be Sauce Gardner's first. I haven't looked at the receivers he's played. He did go up against Stephon Diggs, but
Right,
the hype around this one is more. It's real.
for sure.
And I find that interesting. I just think it's Justin Jefferson doing the gritty into the limelight. Sauce Gardner, he's got the flash with the hot sauce bottle at the draft. Now, as far as talking about the actual technical on the field, how it's going to go down, I mean, I have nothing but respect for Sauce Gardner as a rookie, just to already have 11 pass breakups, two interceptions. And we saw Justin Jefferson struggle against Darius Slay. We saw just the Vikings receivers in general struggle against good secondaries. So if we do have a situation where it is one on one and the Vikings use the same offensive approach as they have for the last few weeks, I don't think we're going to see Justin Jefferson do what he normally does. And that's okay. All that means is we're going to have to focus a little more scheme. I'm looking for a big Kevin O'Connell game. I want to see his intention of how he's gonna win this battle. Does he use Justin Jefferson to draw Sauce Gardner away from other receiving options, or is he gonna move Justin Jefferson around pre-motion, pre-snap to scheme Justin Jefferson open get him the ball in the open field? So that is really where I think this conversation lies because I do think Sauce Gardner will have a good day against Justin Jefferson if it's just one on one on the right side of the field.
Yeah, I mean, Sauce is a stud. Cornerback is supposed to be
Mhm.
one of the most difficult positions for rookies to come in and succeed. It's like that and tight
Yeah.
end. You
Yeah.
basically just you can say, well, they're going to struggle their first year or two. Sauce has come in.
Hmm.
He's the number one rated, not rookie, the number one rated overall in PFF
Yeah.
grade. He is the truth. He is
He's
awesome. I
yeah.
have nothing but respect for him. He is amazing. And like we had in the comments there, he held Tyreek to 47 yards. He's faced a couple heavyweight
That's a
balls himself.
heavyweight. Why? Where was the
Yep.
hype around that game? There was no hype.
Well, because everyone kind of figured the Jets and Dolphins weren't going to be that good this year. It turns out, they're
Right.
both competing for that AFC
Yeah.
title along with the Bills. But like
Yeah.
it's I think the Vikings. I agree that KOC he's going to find some creative ways to make sure that Jefferson has some separation off the line. The good tidbit is that Kirk Cousins has the most completions in the NFL on crossing routes this year. I think we're going to see a lot of that where we're moving Jefferson maybe pre-snap and getting him
Hmm.
the ball right away early and often. I don't see a repeat of the Bills game or anything. I don't think he's going for 10 and
Right.
193 and getting 3 touchdowns. Sauce is
Right.
too good. And the whole Jet secondary, it's not like it's just Gardner out there on the island because you can scheme around just one good
Right.
corner. They have a couple. But I think, like, I think unless the Jets the line completely destroys him, then all bets are off. Then Jefferson maybe gets held. And that's the thing, like, oh, the Trayvon Diggs, held him down. It's like, no, Trayvon Diggs didn't do that against Jefferson. And even Darius Slay, Kirk Cousins was straight up throwing the ball to Darius Slay in that Eagles game. Like
Right. Right.
those two did not shut down Jefferson. The offense kind of got shut down before Jefferson could do
Yeah.
anything. So
And that's
I
really what I'm worried about is Kirk Cousins really is just throwing it to Justin Jefferson no matter what. I mean, we've won a lot of these games
that still
with
works
just Justin
sometimes. Yeah.
Jefferson. It does. It works. But will it work this weekend? Scared. A little
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah, there's going to be other people that have to get involved. They're going to have to get Thielen involved. I think this could be a good T.J. Hawkinson game too, and
Yep.
Dalvin Cook.
Baby
He's
goal.
got to have a bounce back game for sure. Yep.
Definitely.
All right, what's
Let's
your
go to
next
the
one for
next
me?
one. Davis, hurrying us along. We're on question number 3 of 6. Eric, which injured player do we need back the most?
Well, it sounds like they're probably going to get him back this week because I think undoubtedly for me it's Delvin Tomlinson. That middle
Okay.
of the line has been just atrocious with him out. And not stuffing the run. That's kind of what Tomlinson is known for in stuffing the run. But
Hmm.
Tomlinson is quietly having a really good season rushing the passer. I think Matthew Collar from Purple Insider had a really good article this week about that. How Tomlinson his pass rush might be missed more because again, it does not make sense when you have Zadarius Smith and Daniil Hunter, the top. Uh, Duo in NFL in total pressures, and you're still getting roasted for the most yards in the NFL through the air. Again, that's the chicken or the egg kind
Hmm.
of thing. The secondary has been banged up, and there's a couple players that definitely need to come back on that side of it too if the Vikings are going to make a run. And it sounds like I believe it sounds like they're going to get Evans back this week because he's out of the concussion protocol, and it sounds like Dantzler is set to go when he's eligible next week. And both of those will
Yes.
be huge because the secondary
Huge.
that secondary was getting thinner than a 90s supermodel there for a while. Like it was getting pretty rough, Like
Came into
I
the
mean, I
season
yeah,
thin.
yeah, exactly. Like Duke Shelley, great. That's great. But like if we're depending on him to go one on one against some of these receivers down the stretch, it's going to be tough. But I really think it starts with Tomlinson. That defensive line really
Hmm.
missed him in all aspects of the game, and I think that frees up, like having him and Harrison Phillips, who's been a pleasant surprise, I think overall, like with
Yeah.
rushing passer. But Tomlinson is definitely a step up there. Then you can have Phillips take up those gaps and just be more of what this defense wants to be. Again, we can talk about the scheme of the defense and maybe being a little too predictable and vanilla, but I think just getting Tomlinson back there in the middle
Hmm.
is going to be huge.
Yeah, I think you made a great point about how Tomlinson contributes to the pass game as well. He's number 3 for me. I think Cameron Dantzler is number 2. Very
Okay,
excited to see him back on the field. And then number 1 is Christian Darrisaw. Just because Blake Brandel has held up. We're getting more from him than we ever could have asked for, but four cra- four pressures against the Cowboys really hurt. Really, it was bad. Even a forced fumble off of it. The Jets rate rank 5th in pressure rate, and I think that's another difference here. Is I'm looking just at this game, and I
sure,
think long term, Dalvin Tomlinson is a more important player, but the edge
yeah,
rushers, John Franklin Myers, Carl Lawson, Bryce Huff, Quinton
yeah.
Wilson. I mean, I'm scared of this matchup even with Christian Darrisaw. So he's the answer for me.
Yeah, that's absolutely for this week. It probably could be Darisaw just because of that Jets pass rush, and yeah,
Hmm.
like long term, just take your time, CD, because we need him for the stretch run. Like that's the concussion thing with getting that scare back to back. Let's make sure he's 100%. So, all right, my
Definitely.
second question for you: how much better? So that's another backup quarterback. That's all the Vikings face this year. But how much better does Mike White make the Jets offense?
You know, the Jets are riding high right now. I cannot deny that. And they've seen Mike White play this well before. So there is more than just the hype here, more than just one good game. But I don't think he makes them that much better. I mean, if you're comparing them to Zach Wilson. Sure, maybe better than Zach Wilson, but not better to the point where I'm scared of Mike White more than I'd be scared of a Mac Jones or of an Andy Dalton. He's just a guy, in my opinion, and we've seen him play well both this season and last season. But we also saw him fall apart against the Buffalo Bills in 2021, threw four interceptions in that game. Nobody's talking about that game because that was just two games after his great game last season. So I do think that a good defense will be able to to help us beat the Jets offense that admittedly does have a lot of weapons, but it's not the quarterback for me. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you said a good defense could shut down Mike White, and I agree with that. I don't know if the Vikings currently have one of those, but again, like for me, the ceiling is higher overall with the Jets offense because again, Mike White has
Yeah.
started a whopping 4 games in his career. He has had 3 touchdowns in 2 of those. Zach Wilson has started 20 in his career. He has 3 touchdowns in 0 of them. As a matter of
In
fact,
zero.
I think he only has 2 touchdowns in like 4 of them. Zach Wilson
Hmm.
has been actively bad, especially this year. And yeah, I think the Vikings hopefully they can scheme up some stuff. Again, that's my number one gripe with this defense. It's you know what you're getting with them. And any quarterback that's in the NFL, if you give them A, time, and B, like if they're not surprised by what they're reading pre and post snap, they're going to be able to make the throws. If they think a guy is going to be
Yep.
open, 95% of the time they're going to hit the open receiver unless you're changing it up. So hopefully we're the Vikings are adding a few more wrinkles for that because I think that's the only thing. I mean, like, yes, White looked outstanding against the Bears, but the Bears are bad. Defense has
Mm.
been bad all year, and that was kind of like the B team of the very bad Bears team. So, like, basically, I just think the ceiling is higher. I'm sure Garrett Wilson and Tyler Conklin are super happy with it, and Corey Davis. Like, I think they want White in there because Zach Wilson might be. Oh boy, I don't want to call him a lost cause a year and a half in his career, but like it's not looking great so far. But yeah, like this is one of those times where the Vikings are facing a backup, but you can actually be more scared. And you do realize that you did say that like we shouldn't be as scared as we were of Mac Jones and Andy Dalton. Like they're
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but both of them put up numbers against this defense, so that makes me a little nervous. Like if as long as the quarterback isn't actively bad, it seems like the Vikings defense can struggle. So I just think I'd much rather space Zach Wilson, especially with the struggles he's going through right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Much rather face Zach Wilson. I am crediting, that Andy Dalton game we did win on a double doink. So we could easily still lose to Mike White. That is not
Mhm.
what I'm saying here.
Right.
I'm simply saying I think there is a plan. It's not like a Josh Allen type of thing where like, I don't know, I just hope we get lucky. Like go into this game with a game plan. I
Sure.
think it's about making them one dimensional, trying to shut down that run game, and then just letting Zadarius and Daniil pin their ears back. But yeah, I this is achievable, but it's still very Andy Dalton-ish, for better or
Yeah.
for worse. Yeah.
Right. I hear ya.
Next question. Eric, the Jets are the blank's best team we'll play this year.
The crazy thing is, I don't know if you can put the th after that. Okay, let's go through. Let's go through the 6
Yeah,
teams that the Vikings
let's
have left.
go.
They have the Jets, who are a pretty solid team. They're in the 7th position. The
Hmm.
Lions, the way the Lions are playing, I would almost get them there, but I still think the Jets are better. The
Okay.
Colts are an absolute. They're doing whatever. They're done. Like the Jets, absolutely are better than
Hmm.
them. The Giants, I think Cinderella's kind of turning into a pumpkin with the Giants. I
Yeah.
think they're kind of getting exposed with a little bit of what they, it's their last stretch, their last couple games. It's like, oh, maybe if you shut
Hmm.
down this and this, they're kind of tough to win. The Packers, I don't know. Like they like again, it might be Jordan Love time. It like they get, and then the Bear, like the
Uh,
Bears. We've already talked about the Bears. Like that's the thing.
yeah.
There aren't any teams on the Jets, like on the Viking schedule, that are like you say, far and away
We
they are better than the Jets. Like that's
we have the
crazy.
easiest strength of schedule in the NFL right now.
Yeah, and the Vikings and the Jets. This is a testament to the Jets too. It's not just
Hmm.
the kind of the lame duck schedule down the stretch. And again, the Vikings have showed us they can hang with anyone and they can let anyone hang with them. So like that's a double edged sword there. You can't tell me that they're out of the top three. That's for absolutely sure. I would probably say
Uh-huh.
top two. And again, like depending on what your opinion is of the Giants, I really do think the Jets could be the toughest team, especially just matchup wise, because of this Jets defense and the weapons they do have on offense that could hurt the Vikings still getting healthier defense. I think this could be one of the toughest games. I love that it's at home. I love
Hmm.
that the Vikings have the rest advantage of playing on Thursday while the Jets played. Well, I mean, they kind of had to play against the Bears, but they still played on Sunday. So I still
Banged
like the
up
Vikings' chances,
defense.
and I think they should look good, and the defense should be look better than they did against the Patriots. But like again, this is a tough matchup, and these aren't your fathers or your grandfathers. You might have to go to your great grandfather to back
Yeah.
when the Jets were good. So
We
like this,
have to take this
they're
one
legit.
seriously.
Absolutely, this is no one is looking past this game, and I don't think the Vikings are either.
So did you say third?
No,
That's
I say first or second. It's second the lowest.
first
I
or second?
probably first. Probably first. Like if this was at well, again, it's not like the MetLife Stadium's a huge advantage, but I like that the fact that it's home. They might be the most talented team. Packers have a lot of talent, but they're kind of a mess right now.
I agree. First or second, and if you look at our entire season, because I had to go a step further when I saw they were first. If you believe in Mike White, they might be the third best team we play all year. Just throwing it out there, throwing it out there, because they're making a run right now. So we got to cool those jet engines. See what I did there?
Ah, that's a good dad joke right there. All right. Okay.
All
I
right.
gotta ask you. We got 40 seconds left. You can make it quick. You abandoned us, Flip. You are no longer on Twitter. If you go on Flip Mozzie, it's empty. This account does not exist. What
I
happened?
should have.
You
I
finally
should have
wised up?
filled. Am I actually gone? Have you tried
I
to
don't know.
see?
I
You haven't even searched for me. You don't miss me. You don't
you
miss
told me you're
me.
no. I went out there. I don't know what it says. I don't think like the user doesn't exist, but there are no tweets there. There are no hot takes you can share. I am carrying the burden of the show now to tweet it out. And David.
Well, hey, abandon is a strong word. We're hanging out right now, Eric,
Okay.
on a Thursday
Let's.
night before a big time game. But
Oh, save by the buzzer. That's fine. All right.
I will always be here on Climbing the Pocket. You know where to find me, Eric. And this is my community now. It's
I
you,
love it.
it's David, it's G Mac, Mary Fisk, Clifford. Uh, like this is a Dan Henneman, Freddie. I could go on
Yep,
and
we got
on.
a good
This is
squad
my
here. Yep.
community now. This
I
is
like it.
my
I like
Twitter.
it.
So
All right.
keep on coming back, y'all. Thanks for joining. Great with the comments, and we're both, if you can't tell, very excited about this Jets game. Eric, give me your score prediction.
All right. I think it's got to be a close game. This is the Vikings. This is what they do. But I think I'll say 23-20 Vikings. I think it's going to be back and forth. Points are going to be hard to come by. I think the Vikings
Mhm.
do just enough, like they usually have been during the season. How about you?
Yeah, I'm scared of a few things about this matchup. I'm happy that Mike White is not one of them. I do think that we have issues on the offensive line. Same old Flip. I know. So it's going to have to be low scoring. What I'm cheering for is the Mike White meltdown game. I am
There we
choosing
go.
the Vikings offense. to struggle all day, put up 13 points, and still beat the New York Jets 13-10.
I like it. Old school stuff. I thought last week was going to be
Old school.
low scoring too, and we were way wrong on that one. So
Yeah. So we'll see. Until next time, Dave, what you got?
If this works.
there he is.
There he is. I snuck up on you.
What we've got next is two old bloggers, Darren and myself, and we'll break down this Jets game. And like you guys, I'm a little worried about that Jets defense. Not so much about their offense, but I am worried about their Jets defense, and we'll get into that on Saturday. And then, of course, after the game, approximately 3 o'clock in the afternoon, since it's a noon game, which you guys didn't mention, that's Kirk Cousins' best time
Noon
playing.
Kirk, baby. 50 points, easy.
Superman. He will come out, and we'll be here with the final score.
Noon
Flip,
Kirk,
Jason,
I love it.
Matt, myself will all go live. And also, who's in town as of today, CTP Germany has crossed the pond. He's made his way safely to Minneapolis. He is there. He will probably be joining us as well on Sunday.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Jonas.
Well, hey, I hope they get it done. Vikings by 3. Until next time, Skol Vikes.
Skol Vikings! Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and rate us on your favorite aggregator. And a special shout out goes to our partners, the Daily Norseman, where the best Vikings content can be found, and to Lake Monster Brewing, home of the best beer in Minnesota. Skol, everybody.